Actually fundamentally disagree. I think that entrepreneurs view risk differently. It's not like we go to Vegas and roll the dice when we want to start a company and get a thrill out of it, wondering what the next card's going to turn. That's not the case. I started my first business when a guy turned to me over a glass of wine and said, if you ever went on your own, I would hire you. Now my family went, what? You're starting a business on the basis of some drunk on a plane? Not exactly it. But for me,
screw top wine too.
Yeah, you can choose. But the bottom line was this guy took the risk out of the decision for me. Now to other people, there was still a ton of risk. In my mind, no, I'm ready to go. So I think it's about the perception of risk, and that goes back to whether Bruce and I will ever fundamentally agree on whether entrepreneurs are born or made. And again, it doesn't matter. What we're after is to see entrepreneurs. And again, it comes down to at what point do they judge the risk of whatever they're doing to be low enough to justify going forward. The entrepreneur will see it differently.
Yeah, we see in Silicon Valley that they embrace failure, and I think that's one of the challenges we have, specifically failing fast. So it's kind of like you fail, if you go to the Valley and you start pitching your concepts, one of the questions is, how many times have you failed? Great, now I'll fund you. Whereas in Canada, one of our issues is that we have a lot of first-time entrepreneurs who haven't had enough experience in going through that level of iteration, or they're still working on the same idea for years. And I got to think of it, they haven't had that old Yeller moment and kind of just killing that business and moving on to the next great idea. I think we definitely have a tremendous amount of talent in this country, specifically here for digital businesses. I don't think there's any place better in the world to build a digital company here in Ontario.
Agree with that?
Guys down there don't last long, and if it works for a while, bang, let's go. If it doesn't, get out of it. Again, going back to the same thing, I believe that wholeheartedly.
Well, it's just picking up on what you were saying. You do have to get a lot better at not only embracing failure, but getting a microscope out for why it failed. What you can learn from that, celebrate it. Because I totally agree. When somebody comes in to be funded to round 13, it doesn't faze me that they failed at something before. They get a lot more excited if they succeeded at something before they showed up at the second or third time.
Yeah.
But if they showed up and they failed and got the learnings from it, it doesn't deter me from having a meeting and going at it with open mind.
I think it goes back